Hi, my name is Nicole Lumor and I will discuss Kyrgyzstan Republic. Kyrgyzstan or Kyrgyz Republic is a landlocked country in Middle Asia. Kyrgyzstan is bordered by Kazakhstan to the north, Uzbekistan to the west, Tajikistan to the south, and the People's Republic of China to the east. Its capital and its larger city is Bishkek. It has a mountainous terrain. Ethnic Kyrgyz make up the majority of the country's 6 million people, followed by significant minorities of Uzbeks and Russians. The Kyrgyz language is closely related to other Turkic languages. Kyrgyzstan history spans a variety of culture and empires. Although geographically isolated by its highly mountainous terrain, Kyrgyzstan has been at the crossroads of several great civilizations as part of the Silk Road along with other commercial routes. Inhabited by the succession of tribes and clans, Kyrgyzstan has periodically fallen under larger domination. Turkic nomads who trace their ancestry to many Turkic states, such as the First and the Second Turkic Khaganate, have inhabited the country throughout its history. After the fall of Drangur, Kyrgyz and Kipchaks were an integral part of Kokand Khanate. In 1876, Kyrgyzstan became part of the Russian Empire, and in 1936, the Kyrgyz Soviet Socialist Republic has formed to become a constituent republic of the Soviet Union. Kyrgyzstan attained sovereignty as a nation-state after the breakup of the Soviet Union in 1991. Fast fact about Kyrgyzstan Republic. Kyrgyzstan, a former Soviet country, boasts a proud heritage of Middle Asian warriors who once ruled a vast empire. Number 1. The country is mostly mountains. There are more than 85 distinct mountain ranges, which in total cover more than 70% of the geographic territory. This leads the country to often be described as the Switzerland of Middle Asia, and to some unbelievably stunning landscape photography. Second, it's one of the world's least crowded countries. Perhaps all those mountains have something to do with it, or perhaps it's the bone-chillingly cold winters and scorching hot summers, but landlocked Kyrgyzstan is very sparsely populated. Spread across its nearly 200,000 square kilometers are just over 5.5 million residents, which averages just 29.5 people for each square kilometers of the land. Unlike other sparsely populated places like Australia, where most residents are concentrated in the city, only 36% of Kyrgyzstan's population reside in urban locations. Kyrgyzstan is one of the few countries in the world to have this domination. Third, Kyrgyz warriors were fierce. The Kyrgyz were one of the groups of people who raided the borders of China in the 3rd and the 4th century BC, creating the need for the constructions of the Great Wall as a protective barrier. Customs and traditions in Kyrgyzstan. Customs and traditions in Kyrgyzstan were meant to help with the biggest transitions in life and to provide order and meaning from birth to death. These traditions fit into the nomadic lifestyle and were centered around the family. There are traditions for childbirth and for death, as well as weddings and married life, that define life in Kyrgyzstan and are passed down and adopted to the modern day. Back when the Kyrgyz were nomads, birth was dangerous for both the mother and the baby. Midwives were essential to ensuring the health of the mother and the baby, and precautions were taken to protect them from evil spirits. Despite the perilous process of giving birth, the new baby has a cause of joy, and there were several celebrations held for newborns. To this day, weddings are a major Kyrgyz celebration and tradition. Weddings traditionally are a way to celebrate a bride leaving her family and joining her grooms. And in Kyrgyzstan, weddings sure are a big celebration. There are older Kyrgyz traditions for weddings as well as a more modern customs featuring Western elements. Families are the backbone of Kyrgyz society, and their traditions and customs related to family remain crucial to this day. There is a definite hierarchy that dedicates each person's place in the family, all the way from the family patriarch to the youngest daughter-in-law. People treat their elders with respect and guests have a special place of honor. Kyrgyz customs around death were meant to honor the life that the decree life and to ease his or her passing to the next world. People would gather to mourn and sing traditional songs as well as to eat and set affairs in order. Folk traditions and customs of Kyrgyz people are closely connected with the nomadic way of life peculiar to the Turkic and Mongolian people. Literally, everything is connected with nomadism, holidays, folk crafts, music, cuisine, and everyday life. And to this day, despite the fact that Kyrgyzstan is modern, people traditions are carefully passed down from generation to generation. The Kyrgyzstan flag is composed of a red area filled with a yellow sun with a depiction of a dorm, which is the traditional tent. About 7 months after the declaration of the independence of the country, it replaced the flag of the Kyrgyz Soviet Socialist Republic. And since that year, it has been the flag of the Kyrgyz Republic. The color of the flag looks like the old Soviet flag, but the red is said to be inspired by the flag removed by the country's popular hero Manas. Under Soviet rule, the Union Republic used the flag of the Soviet Union, which was adopted in 1953 on the territory of present-day, and the flag representing communists. On August 31, 1991, Kyrgyzstan declared itself independent about 4 months before the collapse of the Soviet Union. However, the Soviet-era flag maintained its national flag status for 7 months after the declaration of the independence. The Soviet flag was replaced with the new design on March 3, 1992. Major tourist attraction in Kyrgyzstan, Isiku Lake. Isiku means hot lake translated from Kyrgyz. It is a salty and mineral-rich lake that does not freeze even the coldest of winters. More than 100 rivers flow into lake, yet not one of them flows out. It is the second largest mountain lake in the world, located at an altitude of 1,607 meters and at its maximum a depth of 668 meters. To give you an idea of the scale of the lake, it takes about 9 hours to circumnavigate by car. Bishkek. Bishkek is the capital of Kyrgyzstan. It has a variety of eating places with everything from traditional Middle Asian dishes to international cuisine and fast food. A Bishkek city tour will reveal the nomad Soviet and modern influence on the development of the country. You can stroll around in many green alleys of the city, shop in bazaar for local produce and explore its many statues as you make your way around the city. Alakarcha National Park. Just around half an hour away from Bishkek suburbs is a magnificent alpine national park. You can get closer to the mountains that from the backdrop of the city. The highest peak in the national park reaches 4,895 meters. It is a favorite local haunt for picnics as well as being popular with tourists looking to do short hikes.
Good day everyone, I'm Dionisio Margaret and I will introduce you Kazakhstan. Our motherland is the Republic of Kazakhstan. It is situated in the heart of Eurasia. By its land area, Kazakhstan is on the 9th place. It is as huge as 3 lands of Turkey, 5 lands of France, 7 lands of Japan can easily fit into it. And Kazakhstan is a multinational country where 131 nationalities live in peace and harmony. The population of the state is over 17 million people. Astana is the capital city of Kazakhstan. It is modern, growing, political, economic, scientific, and sociocultural center of the state. Astana can wonder anyone by its architecture, the Baytarek Monument, Khan Shatir Trading Center, Art University, Mangi Lake El, Pyramid Palace, aka or the residence of President. There are many cities in Kazakhstan that are situated in 14 regions which are called oblasts. Kazakhstan is a young promising state. The state attained independence in 1991 on December 16. Thanks to the head of the state, Nursultan Abishuli Nazarbayev, it became famous all around the world within 25 years. You can see the portrait of our president on banknotes. Now, we will jump in culture and traditions. Culture and traditions in Kazakhstan is a multinational and multicultural country. Its vast territory had not only nations mix, but also there has been interpenetration of different cultures. A special Kazakhstan culture has developed. However, despite such a mixture of cultures, each nation of Kazakhstan carefully preserves its cultural traditions and customs. Kazakhs have a great number of traditions, which are passed down from generation to generation, and are gladly adopted by young people. If we enumerate them all, even a small list of tradition and custom will make up a weighty volume. Therefore, we shall tell you about the most important and widely observed traditions. Now, let's proceed in fast facts. Here are some basic facts about the country of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is home to large oil, gas and metal deposits and it's the largest economy in former Soviet Central Asia. It is the largest of the 5 ex-Soviet Central Asian republics by territory, or about 5 times the size of France, and has a population of nearly 19 million. Helped by a reputation for political stability under its former long-serving leader Nursultan Nazarbayev, Kazakhstan has attracted hundreds of billions of dollars of foreign investment, but much of the economy is believed to be controlled by the Nazarbayev family. Now 81, Nazarbayev steered his country to independence from Moscow in 1991 and became the longest-serving ruler of any ex-Soviet state, only stepping down in 2019 to make way for his hand-picked successor Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. As you can see, this is the map of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is a transcontinental country with major parts in Central Asia and a small part in Eastern Europe. It is located in the northern and eastern hemispheres of the Earth, at the junction of Europe and Asia. It is bordered by 5 nations: the Russian Federation in the north and west, China in the east, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan in the south. The Aral Sea is located along the southern border. The Caspian Sea is situated along the western border. The Kazakhs are descended from the Blue Horde, Turkic Mongol people was centuries ago. flew the blue banner in Central Asia. The color also stands for the great skies under which these traditionally nomadic people have lived. Light blue was chosen as the background for the national flag of Kazakhstan, officially adopted in June 1992. The designer of the flag was Sheikh Liezel, who attributed the symbolism of the blue to peace, tranquility, and well-being. In the center of the flag is a golden sun with 32 rays above a golden stepped eagle in flight. These two symbols stand collectively for the freedom and high ideals of the Kazakh people. Along the hoist edge of the flag is a vertical band of traditional Kazakh ornamentation. Originally, this appeared in red, but later it was stipulated to be in golden yellow so that there would be only two colors in the flag. Under the Soviet Union, when flags of distinctive designs were first being developed for the Union republics, Belarus, then known as Belorussia, in 1951 adopted a flag that had an embroidery pattern running vertically near the hoist. This basic design concept was probably the inspirational for the Kazakh pattern. The flag of the former Kazakh Soviet Socialist Republic was simply the flag of the Soviet Union with a blue horizontal stripe near the bottom. Kazakhstan is a significant producer of coal, crude oil, and natural gas, and a major energy exporter. While coal dominates the country's energy mix, renewable sources of energy are a small but growing share of Kazakhstan electricity generations. Gas pipeline network expansion remains a priority in order to expand access and reduce reliance on coal and LPG for household consumption. Kazakhstan is part of the EU for Energy program, an initiative focused on evidence-based policymaking for the energy sector. And now I will introduce you the major tourist spot in Kazakhstan. And the first one is Astana. Astana, or the changing face of Central Asia, the wonderful capital city of Kazakhstan, stands as the living example of the modernized nation and presents popular Kazakhstan tourist attractions. With plenty of corporate business centers and multi-story buildings around, the architecture of this city will mesmerize you for sure, making it a brilliant location for Kazakhstan sightseeing. The second one is Aktau, pretty town by the Caspian. The almost 40-year-old city overlooking the Great Caspian Sea is a fascinating beauty and among the most serene visiting places in Kazakhstan. It is here in Aktau that one can spot some of the rare Kazakhstan tourist attraction and more of ancient architectural ensembles. Cultural centers, concert halls, cinemas, and libraries from ancient times are spread all over the city and must be explored for a local feel of the place. And the last one is Lake Kaindi, a natural dam situated an altitude of 2,000 meters. Lake Kaindi is a 400-meter long lake. Due to an earthquake in 1911, an enormous landslide led to the formation of this lake. The natural calamity caused the occurrence of a natural dam in the gorge amid spruce trees. The forest submerged as water started to flood in the basin. The temperature of the lake goes up to 6 degrees Celsius maximum in summer. This lake is one of the best tourist places in Kazakhstan and should be included in every explorer's bucket list.
Good day everyone, I am Krystal Nalunat and I will discuss Tajikistan country. Tajikistan in Central Asia is surrounded by Afghanistan, China, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan. The geography of Tajikistan is dominated by the Pamir Alay Mountains along with valleys in the south and the southwest. The government system is a republic, the chief of state is the president, and the head of the government is the prime minister. Tajikistan has a mixed economy in which there is a variety of private freedom combined with centralized economic planning and government regulation. It has an area of 143,100 km and an estimated population of 9,749,625 people. Its capital and largest city is Dushanbe, a city and in the capital of Tajikistan in the southwestern part of the Russian Federation in Asia, southwest of Tashkent. Interesting facts about Tajikistan. First, it boasts some of the most inspiring high-altitude scenery in the world. The Pamir Mountains are over 22,965 feet high and widely known as the roof of the world. At the center of the mountain range marks the confluence of the highest mountain ranges of the Eurasian continent. Second, it was at the heart of the Silk Road in ancient times. The territory of Tajikistan sat on the most important routes on the Silk Road, which connected the East and the West. Persian, Greek, Chinese, and Arabic sources also cite Tajik as a major influencer of culture and commerce between the 5th and 12th century. Third, the capital city is named after the day of the week. The capital city of Tajikistan is Dushanbe, which means Monday in Persian. The city once sat at the crossroads of a large market that took place every Monday. Dushanbe is a fascinating city built around picturesque parklands. It is home to the 10th century Ismail Somoni golden statue, which sits in Friendship Square. It is also where you'll find the world's second tallest flagpole, the Dushanbe, which soars 164 meters high. Fourth, it will be home to the world's highest dam. Tajikistan is already home to the world's second highest dam, the Nurek, which stretches across the 43 miles. Nurek Reservoir on the Vaksh River is 300 meters high. Last is Tajikistan is highly susceptible to earthquakes. In 1907, Tajikistan experienced one of the world's deadliest earthquakes, the Krsytel. It killed over 12,000 people. In 1949, the Kait earthquake claimed thousands of lives too. The country sits in seismically active zone, which means earthquakes occur frequently. Next is traditions and custom in Tajikistan. Tajikistan's traditions cover a large part of daily life, from clothing to entertainment to ceremonies and celebrations. In many parts of Tajikistan, people hold their traditions close to daily life. There are people in villages who wear traditional long coats and headscarves, who dance traditional dances at weddings that are specific to regions like the Pamir Mountains and the flatter areas like the Gisar Valley. Other dances and music in Tajikistan tell stories about historical events and other parts of culture like carpets, weapons, and musical instruments. Performing arts in Tajikistan tell all about legends and stories. Each region has its own art form and its own stories to perform, making performing arts a unique part of Tajik culture. Puppets, plays, songs, and dances have all survived from ancient days to still be a popular part of traditions in Tajikistan today. Tajik clothes is defined by types of cloth, designs, and patterns that adorn various items of clothing. Small caps called toki or kalapush are especially common and are worn by both men and women, with different patterns depending on the region and who is wearing the hat. Traditional Tajik clothing is still worn by many people, especially in the regions and in smaller villages. Rugs, embroideries, and quilts make up most of the furniture in traditional Tajik homes, which makes them warm and inviting places. In many modern homes, there may be more modern furnishings, but plenty of traditional homes in Tajikistan still exist, where guests are welcomed with a full spread of food on the dastarkhan and a home full of beautiful textiles. Weddings in Tajikistan are a big deal and mark transition into a new life for the couple. There are plenty of Tajik traditions from courtship through engagement, and weddings are full of festivities. There are plenty of ways that Tajik weddings and traditions ensure a happy life and plenty of luck for the new family. So this is the flag of Tajikistan. The national flag of Tajikistan was adopted in November 1992, replacing the flag of the Tajik Soviet Socialist Republic of 1953. The flag is a horizontal tricolor of red, white, and green with a yellow crown surmounted by an arc of 7 stars at the center. The tricolor preserves the choice of colors in the former Tajik Soviet flag as well as the proportions. I will define some major tourist attraction in Tajikistan. First is Iskandar Lake. It is an excellent place for outdoor activities such as hiking, camping, and swimming. It is sandwiched between the beautiful Fan Mountains and is one of the largest glacial lakes in northwest in Tajikistan. Next attraction is Khojan. Khojan is a center of Tajikistan's industrial, scientific, and cultural developments. A visit to Khojan Fortress and the Regional History Museum are must-dos for visitors who want to know the history of the region. If you have a thing for musical performances, head over to Tajikistan Musical and Drama Theater. Last is the Pamir Mountains. Treat yourself to a taste of extreme adventure in the Pamir Mountains, which is often referred to as the roof of the world. The glaciers, lakes, alpine deserts, rivers, valleys, and green and rugged mountains bowl the treasure trove enough to fulfill your wanderlust.
Uzbekistan is a Central Asian nation and former Soviet republic. It's known for its mosques, mausoleums, and other sites. Linked to the Silk Road, the ancient trade route between China and the Mediterranean, Samarkand, a major city on the route, contains a landmark of Islamic architecture, then Rajasthan, a plaza bordered by 3 ornate mosaic-covered religious schools dating to the 15th and 17th century. Uzbekistan population remains youthful and comparison with those of the western parts of the former Soviet Union. Though the population aged slightly and steadily over the decades following its independence, nearly half of the population is in the age range of 25 to 54. This age structure results from the high birth rate after independence. Of all the former Soviet Republic, Uzbekistan had the greatest number of mothers with 10 or more living children under the age of 50. The birth rate has since decreased. Fast fact: Uzbekistan is among the world-leading cotton producer. It is known for its orchards and vineyards, and it's also important for raising caracal sheep and silkworms. Uzbekistan's mineral and oil and gas reserve are substantial. The country produces and exports a large volume of natural gas. Custom and tradition of the Uzbek. People have been forming for centuries. They are very distinctive, impressive, and different dating back to the different epochs and religions. Initial formation of the Uzbek cultures dates back to the 6th and 7th centuries BC. By that time, nomadic tribes shifted to a settlement way of life in the valleys of Amudarya, Sirdarya, and Sastan, and founded first states. Former Nomans founded settlements and cities, bringing with them the customs tradition based on the ancient cults of their ancestors. Territory of modern Uzbekistan, Transhona, being parts of the ancient states, Kozaim, Zogdiana, Bactria, became the basis for formation of culture, which subsequently became the basis of Uzbek culture. Over centuries, traditions and customs of Uzbek people remain almost unchanged despite to the desire of many invaders to impose the alien culture on. The Arabs had the greatest influence on the Uzbek customs and tradition. Centuries-old customs and traditions of the Uzbek people are carefully maintained and passed on from generation to generation. Like many Asian nations, most festive Uzbek customs are related with major family celebrations, wedding and birth. These events include many rites and rituals involving parents, children, brothers, sisters, immediate and remote relatives, even neighbors and guests. Each one of its own role Uzbek traditions are based on hospitality, respect for elders, collectivism, manifested especially vividly in Makhalas. Uzbekistan, officially Republic of Uzbekistan, Uzbek, Uzbekistan, or Uzbekistan Republika C, country in Central Asia, lies mainly between two major rivers, the Sirdarya or ancient Jahartes River to the northeast and the Amudarya or ancient Oxus River to the southeast, thought they only partly form its boundary. Uzbekistan is bordered by Kazakhstan to the northeast and North Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan to the east and southeast. The Autonomous Republic of Karakalpakstan is located in the western third of the country. The Soviet government established by the Uzbek Soviet Socialist Republic as Union Republic of USSR in 1924. Uzbekistan declared its independence from the Soviet Union on August 31, 1991. The capital is Tashkent. Uzbekistan is one of the fascinating countries in the Central Asia and famous for its Silk Road cities of Samarkand, Bukhara, and Khiva. Twice the size of the UK, it is a rich cultural heritage and a long history steeped in tradition. You won't be surprised to learn that it is home to the four significant UNESCO World Heritage Sites and 6 UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage listings. Another 30 are waiting in the wings on the tentative list for such as rich list is important places to visit, things to do, and a numerous variety of sightseeing tours on offer. We present you with our pick of Uzbekistan travel or the top 10 place to visit as Uzbekistan. First is Samarkand. Samarkand, crossroad of cultures, is the most official moniker used to describe this city as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Samarkand conjures up image of the ancient times and sounds almost mythical. However, this is no fairy tale. Samarkand today is a lively city that cherishes its tradition. Archaeological excavations have revealed a history which dates back 3,500 years. The town Afrashab was founded in the 7th century BC. The area of continuously inhabited and served as a melting pot of diverse culture. Second, Bukhara. The historic center of Bukhara has been important base for Islamic theology and science for several centuries. Its well-preserved city center was recognized by UNESCO as an exemplary medieval city. City planning, urban, economic, and scientific development in the Bukhara had a large impact on the Islamic world in the Middle Age. The earliest architectural monument is the tomb of Ismail Samoni dating back to the 10th century. The third is Khiva. Khiva is the first UNESCO World Heritage Site in Uzbekistan, which is described in 1990, noting its importance in the exceptional heritage for ancient Silk Road tradition. Itchankala, which literally translates as the inner part of the old city, is surrounded by the thick of mud walls. It contains 51 monuments, and although around 250 households still make their home inside, it feels more like an open-air museum.
Olabonga Katurismo, I am Liezel Colipano, one of your reporter today from Group 4. And now, let's move on and learn more about the country of Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan is a country in Central Asia. The southernmost of the 5 republics in the region. It is the second largest state in Central Asia after Kazakhstan. Turkmenistan has the second lowest population density of all the Central Asia countries after Kazakhstan. Animal and plant life are inhospitable in a large portion of its waterless expanse. Its sun-baked sandy terrain is characterized by desert, and the exception oasis that scattered along the Amu Darya, Murd, and Tehen rivers in the foothills of the Kopet Dag Range. From 1925 to 1991, Turkmenistan has the Turkmen Soviet Socialist Republic, a constituent republic of the Soviet Union. Is declared in independence on October 27, 1991. The city of Kazakbat, also known as Kasabat, is home of the country's capital. Fast fact, known for its autocratic government and large gas reserves, Turkmenistan has been an island of stability in restive Central Asia. Despite the gas wealth, much of the population lives in poverty. The name Turkmenistan is derived from Persian, meaning land of Turkmen. Turkmenistan also holds the record of the largest carpet and the largest carpet in the shape of star. So, deep in the Turkmen infatuation with carpets, they also have the only flag in the world with a carpet on it. Turkmenistan receives less foreign travelers each year than almost any country in the world, including North Korea. The number of visas issued travelers stays in 4 digits per year, making Turkmenistan one of the 10 least visited countries on Earth. Last year, the country only had 5,000 foreign visitors. Let's move on to the tradition and costume of Turkmenistan. Tradition of hospitality. Hospitality is a distinguished feature of these friendly people and old well-respected Turkmen traditions. Turkmen often judge a person by the way he treats his guests. A guest is greeted by face, Kosh Galganist, and beside that such a ritual phrase as "How happy we are to see you," "What an honor to," "Redundant to us," are a must. Traditional respect of seniors. Traditional respect of seniors. The respectful attitude towards seniors is also based on Asian tradition. It is considered as unacceptable not to help them, to argue with them, to look at them with frighteningly, or to show discontent, to wait for their gratitude for their rendered service to the remind of it. The costume demand honoring parents and seniors. Turkmen say runs, gold and silver do not grow old. The father and the mother are priceless. Tradition of morality. Turkmen are highly moral people. In the attitude toward life, they cultivate hospitality, honoring of seniors, modesty, noblesse, truthfulness, honesty, boldness, sincere generosity. They say, only the noble person can keep his word. Turkmen highly value the idea of honor. My honor is the honor of my family, my nation, my people. They like to repeat now and then. Turkmen always appreciate sincerity. Tell the truth even if it is against thee. Duty and obligation are honored. Wedding rituals. Wedding rituals are hub for Turkmen tradition and costumes where one can learn a lot from numerous costume and ceremonials. One of the leading roles was played by clothes. It was thought that they even possess magic properties of protection and purification. The background of the Turkmen flag is green, a symbol of Islamic religion. Its white crescent stands for faith in a buried future. The 5 stars are the 5 senses, and the 5 points of each star are different state of matter: liquid, solid, gas, crystal, and plasma. On February 1997, the Turkmen flag was slightly modified. As a symbol of the country's neutrality in international relations, a golden olive wreath similar to the one of the United Nations flag was added below the gloss on the vertical stripe. The Turkmen Soviet Socialist Republic, as the country was known under the communist system, adopted a version of Soviet red banner in 1953 that included 2 horizontal light blue stripes. Following its proclamation of independence on October 27, 1991, Turkmenistan sought a new flag design, which was eventually introduced on February 19, 1992. The most striking part of the new flag is the vertical stripe of Bordeaux Unirend, in which there is an elaborate design composed on 5 carpet gloss motifs, respectively associated with solar, tech, strike, Umut, and Scrollen tribes. Ashgabat, monumental capital city full of marble and golden architecture. Ashgabat is the capital city of Turkmenistan and is one of the most interesting places that you can visit. Did you know that Ashgabat holds a genuine record of the highest density of white marble-clad building in the world? The city also holds the record of the greatest number of fountain pools in the public places and many other curiosities. There are several options of a day trip from Ashgabat, such as visiting the ancient ruins of Old Nisa or visiting a horse farm and the famous breed of Kahal Teke horses.
These are the 5 popular or famous food in Central Asian countries. First is the besh barmak. Besh barmak is the national dish of Kazakhstan. It consists of boiled meat served with thin pasta sheets and sauce, made from onions, meat, broth, salt, and pepper. Horse and mutton are most often used, but it can be made with beef as well. Besh barmak is one of the most culturally significant Kazakh food. Next is plov. Plov is a traditional Central Asian dish that comes from the Fergana Valley and is widespread in southern Kyrgyzstan. The basis of the dish is rice, carrots, and meats, first fried and then cooked. There is no canonical recipe for cooking plov, and practically every region has its own recipe. The quantity of meat, rice, and carrot can vary. Additional ingredients such as garlic, raisins, dried apricots, nuts, and etc. can be added. However, the most delicious is the plov from Ozgen, which is prepared in Ozgen and Osh. Third is the kurutob. Tajikistan is famous for a dish called kurutob. It consists of fresh, flaky tortillas which are torn into pieces and topped with sour milk, onions, tomatoes, cucumbers, and either butter, linseed, or cottonseed oil. Next is the palau. Palau, also called ash, is a staple and considered the core dish of Turkmenistan as well as neighboring countries. While it is a must-have dish for family dinners, it is also a required meal for special celebrations. The main ingredients of palau are lamb, meat, and rice. It is made by frying meat, julienne carrots, sliced onions, and boiling rice. And lastly is the achichuk. Achichuk is a type of Uzbek salad made with fresh onions, tomatoes, chili pepper, herbs, and seasonings, often served as a side dish with plov. It's one of the simplest local salads you can try in Uzbekistan. The 5 popular festivals in Central or Middle Asia countries. First is Navruz. Navruz is celebrated as another New Year Day all across Uzbekistan and other Central Asian countries on March 21. The word Navruz means New Day in Farsi. Navruz is celebrated here for over 2,500 years. Next is the Shark Taronalari. This is Uzbekistan's international world music festival being held since 1997. Shark Taronalari festival takes place every summer in Samarkand between 25th and 30th of August. The festival was started with the aim to preserve until present times the culture, art, and unique architecture of the ancient world civilizations. This is one of the biggest music festival in Central Asia. Third is the Chabana or Cowboy. Chabana is a festival in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan border which brings together local herders. They participate in sporting and recreational activities. Chabana festival is very popular and most deeply rooted in Kazakhstan history. Held in mid-August, this is fun 3-day event in which Kazakh and Kyrgyz herders come together to make merry and chase women on horseback. Next is the Kyrgyz Kochu Festival. The traditional lifestyle of nomads in Kyrgyzstan involved their movement from lowland to the highest mountains at the start of summers, and they return back to the lowland in the autumn. This journey or migration of herders with their flock in autumn from the high mountains back to lowland in the month of August. Month of August is celebrated here as Kyrgyz Kochu Festival. And last is the Roof of the World Festival. The Roof of the World Festival is celebrated generally in the month of July in Korog City in Tajikistan in the Pamir Mountain region. The annual event is organized in which the international participants participate from different countries: Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Afghanistan. The top 5 are the famous or popular tourist spot in Central Asian countries. First on the bucket list is the Samarkand. Samarkand has long been a central point for trade across the region and was a substantial city renowned for its craft production, with a citadel and strong fortifications. Several centuries before it was conquered by Alexander in 329 BC. Next is Baku. Baku is a city known for its historical and modern architecture at the same time. Walking down the streets of Baku is a great experience, and each street leads to 2 world-class buildings and attractions called flame towers. Next is the Pamir Highway. The Pamir Highway is designated as Route M41 over much of its length in Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, and is known as the second highest altitude international highway in the world. 4,655 m. The section between Dushanbe and Morgab has the European route number E008. Next is Fergana. There are no big tourist attractions in Fergana Valley in Uzbekistan, but if you truly want to understand Uzbekistan and its relationships with its neighbors, a visit to this region is a must. Fergana has been a center for oil production in Fergana Valley since the region's first oil refinery was built near the city in 1908. Since then, more refineries have been added, and Fergana is one of the most important centers of oil refining in Uzbekistan. Next is Astana or Nur Sultan. Astana or Nur Sultan, founded in 1824 as Russian military outpost. Nur-Sultan became an administrative center in 1868. It was made an oblast or province in 1939. The city grew in importance during the Soviet period, and in 1961 the city was named Zelenograd, meaning the city of the Virgin Lands in Russian.